Did you know that there is hundreds of processes that can be used to enhance Ariba? And here's an example, but I'll start with this story. In April, I needed a webcam because I was confined at home, and it was approved. I was hoping to get it 2 weeks later. Problems. It was delayed, and it was even more delayed, and lots of emails to procurement. And guess what? We are now in September, and I still don't have this webcam. Now, and it's a true story, right? This story tells one thing, I'm frustrated, but it tells another thing. Procurement, the teams themselves that are supposed to support me, are not getting informed about this. There is no dialogue, not in a formalized way. And in the procurement machine, that it's Ariba, S4, or competitors, that also doesn't exist to capture this. But we do something about that because in our platform, we've added APIs. So think of it as a USB, one for analytics, a sourcing event, an approval workflow, a budget, a receiving process, an invoice that has an issue. Those are all different pieces of Ariba that you can connect to and use another software, another party, maybe partners to build an application. You have here an example of such an application. It's searching and finding my webcam on Ariba, but it's not logging onto Ariba. It's using a chatbot. And that's a bit accelerated. It worked, I've ordered, and there is a little bit of developer humor. But what's interesting is it will add more. It will start asking me as a user feedback. And the first feedback is to ask, did you find what you were looking for? And of course, I'm going to say no. I wanted a Logitech Super something, and it was not in the catalog. Now, that's important because procurement will want to know what they're not providing. It's also asking me, when would be your best hope to get this delivered? And I said 2 or 3 days. That's what it would be normally in the commercial world. So if we move the time a little bit further, we're 2-3 weeks later, in theory, I've received this. I said in theory, and the system tells me give a star rating. Well, the star rating first is very cool because it's a nice way to do a receiving without realizing it. So if you click 5, it's received and you don't need to do anything else. And it provides nice feedback to colleagues about this is a good item. And you've seen this elsewhere on the web. But I can also use this moment to say, well, wait a second, I haven't received it. So there's a problem here. So chatbot, help me again. And in here, the chatbot is going to try to figure out what's working and maybe cancel the receiving and do things like that. And at this point, I'm capturing my frustration. But that information will be shown back to the procurement team. And this is an example of a dashboard of analytics of the results of this chatbot. What did the user use during the process? Here, I think I've zoomed on the things that were delayed. And if I move a bit aside, you can see the comments that were given by the users linked to the articles. Now, I can also see what's the difference between the time that I wanted to have this thing and the reality. And this graph here shows how far the reality, or I'm out of reality, but actually this is what I needed. Or the last one here, I'm sorry, I need to move again. What are the things that I did not find in the catalog? And the employee provides this feedback so procurement can make new contracts and decide on new strategies and check on new suppliers. Now, all of this was possible because we use connectivity to Ariba, but we did not log on to Ariba. We use a chatbot and a Qualtrics analytics to provide this feedback and to build an application. And this is what we mean by extensions, and they're pretty cool.